Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about sextortion scams and how you can avoid them. Sextortion scams have been around for a while, but in the time period that they've been around, they've targeted two types of individuals: adults and kids, which means that they come in a variety of forms. So, what exactly is a sextortion scam? Well, for adults, it's when cyber criminals send out messages that say that they know your password and that they've been catching you watch inappropriate stuff through your webcam, whether it be from a desktop computer, a smartphone, or even a tablet or laptop, which has a built-in camera. To kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about as far as adults are concerned, you've probably seen this message come around that claims that they know what your password is, and they're thinking or sent out the email making you wonder, why in the heck is this person contacting me? The other part of the email is to say that they were watching you watch video clips, inappropriate video clips on your device, and they have logged into your computer, got your password, and they have recorded you doing inappropriate things on your webcam. Now, it's kind of scary if you see someone post your password in an email, or sometimes with these sextortion scams, they will post them in the subject of the email, making you worried even more. Now, under most circumstances, when you get this sextortion scam, obviously the scammer wants you to pay either by gift card or by cryptocurrency in order to prevent you doing inappropriate things on your computer in front of your camera. Now, the reason this works, unfortunately, is that sometimes people do get on the computer and do inappropriate things or go to inappropriate sites. And there's always that fear that someone out there on the web is watching your actions. But many people don't think that their actions could be recorded. Now, it could happen if you allow someone to get into your device. But if you're just browsing the web looking at who knows what, then the chances are pretty slim. Again, unless you invite someone in. Now, the remedy for most of these sextortion scams is just to ignore them. And there's other things that you can do as well. But let's move on to the more frightening version of sextortion scams. And those are the ones that are directly directed to teenagers, especially teenage boys ages 14 to 17. So this is how this extortion scam works. Let's say your teenage son is messaging or has been messaging with someone. Then they get a photo of a scantily clad or naked woman on their device. And the woman or the perpetrator gets your kid to send nude photos of themselves. Once the criminal gets those photos, then they will threaten the teenager of exposing those photos, and you will see, or they would get a message similar to what you see on the screen. So I can see through your camera, I know the websites you visit, I can release this info with the click of a button unless we agree on a deal. So essentially what's happened is that the criminal is saying that they know something about the teen, and they know who all their I like how I said that. They know who their family members are, and they're gonna send all the information out unless the teen complies with some form of payment. Now, unfortunately, there have been at least two teenagers that have committed suicide because of this scam. And what's even frightening are the amounts, well, other than the suicide, but the amounts that are the teens are extorted, like $5,000. Sometimes I'll drop that down to a small amount, but it's frightening to think that criminals will target teens. Another message that could appear was similar to this. Can't wait to post them online. Saw your nudes. Can't wait to post them online unless you send me money. Now, sometimes this can happen with teenage girls. So no one's safe from the sextortion scam. And what can we do about it to help keep kids safe and adults as well? So the first thing you have to understand with sextortion scams is that criminals get your information off of the dark web. And your information, such as passwords, are floating around on the dark web because of large scale data breaches. Now, data breaches can occur from anybody. And the problem with data breaches for adults is the fact that you don't know when the breach occurred and what information of yours is floating out there on the dark web. And not that the dark web looks like this, but it's a very nefarious place on the internet where a lot of dark secrets hide and occur. So you always have to be vigilant about knowing where that information or where your information is and making sure that you're doing stuff to keep yourself safe, like changing passwords all the time, so that someone can't come across and say, hey, I know your password. I'm going to log into your accounts and leak out the fact that you've been looking and doing inappropriate things in front of your computer. Now, for teens, how does this happen? Online chat systems in social media, and online chats within video games. Most parents don't realize it, but most gaming systems have chat systems built into it, meaning that if they're playing Call of Duty or any other game out there, you can chit chat back and forth, or their teens can, with their friends, but there's also strangers that are lurking around as well. And so it doesn't take much for a criminal to target your teen and develop a relationship with them, otherwise known as grooming, in order to gain some trust so that they can ask them to do inappropriate things. So no matter what online system that they're on, chances are there's a chat system built into it. So I'm sure parents are out there familiar with teens and them with their headsets on. Well, that is voice chat, but there's also text chat too, and every online game has it because it makes for a great place for people to get together and have massive online parties. But the other thing that you need to know about sextortion scams is it's basically somewhat of a phishing scheme, basically socially engineered in order to trick you into giving up your sensitive data. In this instance, either money or your online accounts, or sensitive data like nude photos, either tricked from, or teens will be tricked by a cyber criminal or other entity out there. So with all cyber crime or cyber threats, there has to be some sort of prevention that occurs out there in order to keep adults and kids safe from sextortion scams, because they're not going to go away. And like all successful cyber scams, they will continue. So for adults, you're talking millions of dollars that have been extorted from adults with sextortion scams. With teens, at least last year, you've seen the numbers of about 18,000 teens that have reported that they've fallen victim to a sextortion scam. That doesn't include the number of teens that either paid the ransom or just didn't tell anybody that they fell victim to this. And you're talking millions, at least last year, with sextortion scams, especially geared towards teens. So it's a growing problem. So education's always the key as far as making sure that you're helping keep yourself and your teenagers safe. Because let's face it, cyber criminals are always after your money, and they'll do whatever it takes to get it. So keep that in mind. As long as they keep making money, um, they will continue these scams. So tip number one, as far as adults are concerned, for sextortion scams, is change your passwords on a regular basis. Because again, you never know when a data breach is going to occur from either a large or small company that has your information. So when criminals try to extort or sextort information from you, they're using passwords that they found on the web. It's not like they've hacked into your computer or got into your online accounts. They're just picking a password that matches your email address, and they send you a message saying, hey, we got your password. Now, if it's an old password, it's never a big deal. But if it's a current password, it is a big deal. And you better take steps to make sure that you're changing your passwords on a regular basis and using passphrases as opposed to passwords. Now, I always have to bring this site up called Use a Passphrase to kind of show you what you need to do. Give me a second as I type this in, and we will screen share it so that you can see the website and understand what a passphrase is. Let's get the website up. Let's switch back to our desktop, and there's Use a Passphrase. I'll maximize that. So basically, a passphrase is two or more unrelated words that create a strong, secure password. And as you can see, it's going to take several centuries for a criminal to break a passphrase. So consider that, meaning using passphrases as far as using standard passwords, and visit that website to generate your own passphrases that you can use to keep yourself safe. Now, as far as kids are concerned, parents need to realize that, and let me make sure that this is up, that wherever kids are, so are online predators. So if your kid is online, chances are they're playing with online predators, and the average age for a gamer is about 34, 35 years old. Probably didn't know that, did you? But it's true. But with that in mind, make sure that you have access to your kids' devices and gaming systems so that you can see who they're interacting with on a regular basis. Doesn't matter if they have a Switch, an Xbox, PlayStation, computer, or even a smartphone or tablet. You need to be able to have access to those devices so that you can log into the chat logs and see what's going on. No passwords and none of that stuff. And you can forget about parental control software, because most parental control software out there will limit inappropriate content, but it also allow you to set time limits and the age rankings for each game out there. Doesn't allow you to monitor everything that's going on, or most won't. So it's always a good idea to put those hands on those devices so that you can check them on a regular basis to make sure that they are being mature with their devices and that they're not talking to anybody who they shouldn't be on those devices. I know some parents think when you're snooping on your kid's phone, actually not a good thing to do, but it is. It's being a smart parent to make sure that your kids are staying safe and doing what they're supposed to online. Now, let's say that you as an adult or your child falls victim to a sextortion scam. Well, one of the things that you can do is to take a screen capture of whatever device you're on. Now, if you're seeing this on a gaming system, then obviously you're going to have to bring up your smartphone, take photos of the screen so that you can do the next thing, which is to get in contact with law enforcement and let them know that you have encountered a sextortion scam. Now, as far as arresting the perpetrator, if it turns out that they are local, then your local PD or even the FBI can take matters into their own hands to make sure that the criminal is caught. But unfortunately, a lot of sextortion scams, especially the ones geared towards teens, are overseas. So there's not much law enforcement can do unless they can convince the country in which the criminal resides in promises to do something in order to persuade that criminal not to do those naughty things. So, in other words, not much you can do other than to take matters into your own hands and to make sure that you and your kids aren't falling for sextortion scams. Talk to them, make sure that they understand that everyone they chat with online is not their friend and that there are criminals out there that will do anything to get a hold of their money or their parents' money. And the same thing for you adults. If you get a sextortion scam, make sure you just screen capture it, delete it, report it, change your passwords, and continue to be safe and vigilant. Also, make sure that you tell your kids that online stranger danger exists and that they should do some research before they reveal personal information to someone they're chatting with. Because believe it or not, online criminals can mimic their friends, and criminals have access to all of that stuff. So be aware. So if you have comments or questions about sextortion scams, leave them in the comment section below. Would love to help you out and tell you what you need to do if you encounter one. I'm also, I always have to beg, but if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, comment on it, do whatever, but make sure that you are doing what needs to be done, which is sharing, because sharing is caring. So with that said, I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.